The majority of the world is watching the presidential debate, which I have decided, does anybody actually watch the debate that doesn't know, they really don't know who they're going to vote for? It's kind of hard for me to think that that's even possible. Call me crazy. Anyway, it's Thursday night. I have used an entire bottle of Tide this week. I have changed countless beds. I have been vacuuming. It is clean at my condo. So I'm over at my neighbor's condo because there's more teenage boys at my condo and you can't even have a conversation, much less like hear yourself think over there, which is fine. So all day today, yes, subscribers, we will talk about the debate tomorrow. All day today, I've had something really heavy on my heart. And I grew up in Rocky Mount, but I live in a small town, Edenton, and everybody knows everybody. Everybody knows what's happening in town. It's not some Charlotte or Raleigh where you're just anonymous, right? Everybody's business is intermingled. Everything is the same. So my kids, Thomas, were, raised in Edenton. And my son, Thomas, had a little girl that they were in preschool together. And they have stayed friends. They're both going to college next year and have stayed friends for a long time and gave each other graduation presents. Just an old friend, which is a great friend. And 2 nights ago, she was going to a friend's house and she parked her car in the driveway. So if this is the driveway, and this is her car, right? So her car is at the end of the driveway and then this is the road, like this is the white line. So according to North Carolina, the state owns 10, 20, 30 feet. So this is a driveway, but the state of North Carolina considers it their property. So if you said, are you parked in the road in your own driveway? The state of North Carolina would say yes. And that's an important thing to talk about in this conversation. So she was parked, as all of us know, a driveway. And she opened her car door. The lights were on. This is 2 nights ago. She's my son's age. Just finished high school, a month ago. And last night or this morning, I see this post that her mom has put up. And it says, you could have killed my daughter last night. And I was texting and was like, well, what happened, And she said, I'm getting her ready for college. And if she had gotten out of that car 3 seconds quicker, she would have been killed. And I'd be getting ready for a funeral. And, there's nothing like perspective to really take the wind out of you. So I see this post on Facebook, and it's a photograph of her car, and it's a photograph of a truck that hurt the car. And you're thinking, well, that doesn't make sense. Like, what could have happened, right? Put on the debate. No, I don't want to. I'm not doing it right now. I'm going to watch the debate after it's over because that's what I want to do. Hold on. Let me look here. Amos is upstairs with my neighbor. So I'm hiding from them because it's so quiet. He's up there playing Legos. You'd rather hear Adrian than a poop show. See? Hold on. Shh. So anyway, there's a car that is smashed to pieces on the back. And then there is a truck parked at a auto place, and it has the big wide tires, and the big wide tire is basically off the truck. Like the big wide tire has, I don't even know how the truck kept moving. But the person that was driving the truck was a man, and what he said was, I'm going to just tell you what the man said was, as soon as I saw you, I tried to swerve. As soon as I saw you, I tried to swerve. And he might have swerved, but he did hit her car. And this is where it gets muddled. This man decided, I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep going. And all day long, I've thought about my children. And I talked to my two sons. My 14-year-old daughter's not here. And I said, what would happen if you hit a car? I was like, well, you stop. I said, would you ever keep going? No. I said, well, what if you were on drugs? What if you were drunk? What if you had a knife to your throat? It was like, well, no, you have to stop. Isn't it illegal not to stop? So that's an 18-year-old and a 16-year-old. I would bet that my 10-year-old with autism would know that if something happens, you stop. Like, that is base 101 law. And 3 of my kids now have had driver's ed training with Betsy Chapel Driving School, and she's amazing. And I overheard her in this last class she was doing with my daughter, talking about hit and run, talking about drinking and driving, talking about the law, talking about what the law says. If your car is parked on the side of the road, you should make sure that the lights are on and that the car is visible from 200 feet away. All these things they learn in driver's ed at 14. So a man doesn't know to stop. And here's what he said. I didn't know what else to do. Wait, what? I didn't know what else to do. You are a 23-year-old man, and you didn't know what else to do? If my 16-year-old came home and told me, I just hit a car, I kept going because I didn't know what else to do, I would say, well, I'm going to tell you what you're going to do. You're going to call the police right now, and you're going to get your ass back to that accident. Are you on crack? No, I'm not watching the debate. I'm going to watch it later. So the man hits this teenager's car. She's nearly killed. She's okay, bumped a little bit. And he drives to the nearest friend's house that he knows. And he leaves the car and he gets the hell out of there. Right? So today, after some social media pressure, is my thinking, he comes forward with his parents. Now, he's a 23-year-old man, and his parents go with him to fess up this crime. And the dad does a lot of the talking. He wants to do the right thing. Okay, I'm sorry, but I have said to my 18-year-old, you are 18. You are a grown-up. You will go to prison. You are an adult. I am not talking for you. Yes, he admitted he did it today. Yes. The dad said, the mother says, our daughter could have been killed. And the dad says, well, they were worried their son could have been killed. The car was in the road. The trooper said the car was in the road. I saw a photo of the car. The car not in the road. The car on the side of the road. Not even touching the white line. Once the truck hit the car was touching the white line. I can see the photograph. The mother says, okay, were you under the influence? Pause. No. Who picked you up? The dad jumps in. For the man-child. He's here to do the right thing, not answer questions. And then this might be might be a crappy parent, but I can tell you, I am doing the best I can. And if my children go and hit a young girl's car, my son, who is a man, does a hit and run, I can promise you, I will not go meet the parents of a child that he hit. He's on his own. And no offense, but no. I am not defending my child who is a man. And here's what the dad said. This is a quote. He's a kid. He's 23. He's still a kid also. Mother fricker, no, he's not. You are not a kid when you're 23. No kid. And as a parent, I mean, it's like beside the word in the dictionary, enabler is this conversation. The mother says, he's been crucified on Facebook. He could have been dead. We are concerned he could have been killed with that car in the road. I'm sorry you don't accept what he's trying to tell you. He made a mistake like all of us have in our lifetime. Yes, we all make mistakes. But at some point, a mistake is different than a choice, right? Like if you go and stab 4 people, is that a mistake or an accident or a choice? It doesn't feel like a mistake. A mistake to me is like a mistake. He said, he tried to see her. He saw her and he tried to swerve. He made a wrong decision. We love our son just like you love your daughter, and he could have been killed in that accident. The idea that you are talking about the fact that your son could have been killed when he slammed into a girl, a man slams into an 18-year-old girl and leaves the scene, and what you're talking about is the fact that he could have been killed in a giant truck. How is he going to be killed? And then the parents say, well, did he give you a ticket? There's some fault here and some fault there. The last thing that the man said was, I do realize now it was the wrong thing to do. I do realize now it was the wrong thing to do. So it took 48 hours to realize that I realize now it was the wrong thing to do. That's bullshit. He knew that was the wrong thing to do when he did it. Or he wouldn't have fled in the car, left the car, and then gotten a ride and gotten the hell out of there. He knew right then that it was wrong. So not now. And the car has these really tinted windows, tinted windshield. Well, today, so you see a picture of the car at the accident. And then today I see a picture of the car and all the tint is gone. No more tint. So but you took the tint off the car before you even apologized to the girl that you left for dead on the side of the road? What? We're talking about somebody in Edenton. A good friend of my oldest son's was parked in a friend's driveway, and another man came up and totaled her car, hit her from behind, and he didn't know that it was a bad idea to leave the scene of the crime. He did say today, I do realize now that it was the wrong thing to do. Because today, almost 48 hours later, he decides that he's going to own up. Oh, and I didn't even tell the best part. The best part is that he leaves the car because he doesn't know better and leaves the truck. And then they say, well, this is your truck. Your truck hit this car. And you know what he says before he knew the right thing to do? Well, my truck was stolen. So that was yesterday. Oh, he knew he hit her. He just didn't know it was the wrong thing to do to leave until today. So yesterday he is saying, well, my truck was stolen. Did you report your truck stolen? No. I didn't report it stolen. No. Well, I'm going to tell you a little sneaky mimicky. This is what my mother always said to me. If you tell the truth, you don't have so much to remember. Just tell the truth. So what happened when you start saying my truck was stolen, well, then you got to file an accident report. And then you got to tell your insurance company that. And you know what that is called? Insurance fraud. It's a problem. So today, because it had been eating him up, the lying, he tells. And then both parents continue to say, well, you're taking care of your child and we're taking care of our child. He could have been killed. He's a kid. He's 23. He's still a kid also. If you call your 23-year-old a kid, you need to step back. She is okay. She is okay. He could have been dead. We are concerned he could have been killed with the car in the road. He's been crucified on Facebook. Oh, I wonder why. Maybe because as a man, he runs into a girl, a teenager, leaves her, totals her car, abandons his truck, gets out of there, and then lies and says my truck was stolen. But we're upset that he's been crucified on Facebook? Would it not be crazy if you weren't crucified on Facebook? And if he hadn't been crucified on Facebook, or if it had been some family that nobody knew, would he have come forward today? I doubt it. We love our son like you love your daughter. He could have been killed in that accident. Yes, my mother had a 3-year-old at 23. Do you think her parents were walking around saying, well, she's just a kid? No. 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 I do realize now it was the wrong thing to do. I would just ask the parents, just do the best you can. Do the best you can. Teach your children to own up. Do you remember Johan Vandersloot that killed Natalie Holloway? And the dad was like, well, he didn't do it. He didn't do it. We're not going to, we're going to protect our child at all cost. And then what does Johan Vandersloot do? He kills another young lady, and now he's in prison for life. So when you allow your child to lie, children don't lie to their parents and get away with it. If my son said my car had been stolen, I'd been like, you are lying and I'm going to beat your tail. And you know it. Right? No, don't lie to me. If you don't call the police right now, then I'm going to. That would have been that night. All day yesterday, crickets. All day. All day crickets. Wasn't me. My truck was stolen. Then the parents. Do you consider Thomas a child or an adult man? Thomas is 18, so he is an adult. I consider him my child, and he's a college student. He's a teenager. I think there's a difference in a teenager and a 23-year-old. I think at 23, you're on your own. I mean, At 23, I paid my own car insurance, my own health insurance, my own rent. I had a full-time job. I was a full-time student. I had a full scholarship at NC State. I was totally independent at 23. I was independent. And if I had called my parents to tell them that I had left the scene of an accident, they would not be saying to a teenage girl's mother, well, she could have been killed too. She's just a kid. They would have tarred and feathered me first. Anyway. And I'm sure there's going to be this, well, I hope nothing ever happens to her. And what if her kids act bad? Well, you know what? If they act bad, I will be the first one to go on Facebook and be like, this is my son. He's terrible. He's acting terrible. And don't look at me because I did the best I could. I'm not going to be in there defending him. No. No. No, 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 no. 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 Don't call your 23-year-old a kid because they're not. Brian Laundrie just shows up with his girlfriend's car. What do his parents do? Do they talk to the girlfriend whose parents, were calling? No, they block her number. Gabby Petito's parents. They block them from calling. Just let that sit with you for a minute. And then they said, but people are coming after us. Well, hello. If you are a man and you hit a teenage girl's car that is parked on the side of the road, not on the road, with all the lights on, according to 2 witnesses who saw the lights on from their house, and a man hits the car, totals the car, leaves, abandons the car, gets a ride, flees, and then the next day says, it wasn't me, my car was stolen. That is not a mistake. A mistake is, I just dropped my phone. A mistake is not lying, hiding, leaving. That's not a mistake. It's just not. Anyway, go watch the debate. Carry on. Yeah, why did you leave? You say that you didn't know that it was the wrong thing to do. I have some thoughts of the only reason I can think somebody would leave an accident. And not knowing what you should do is not one of them. Why did you leave? Why did you leave the scene of an accident? Why did you get a ride home? Why did you get the hell out of there? Why? I don't know. Why did you lie? Why did you say your truck was stolen? What were you doing?